Welcome to the Spotlight segment. This is a segment dedicated to interviews with developers or interesting happenings in the world of Android. And now for this week's episode, here's your Spotlight.
Now we turn to our Spotlight section, and we are going to talk about some developments from Google, as I indicated at the start of the episode. And we're going to begin with the release of quarterly platform release 2 Beta 3. Warren, do you want to talk about what's new in this?
Yeah, so now we have QPR2 Beta 3, and not a lot is happening here. Most of these things are visuals that don't matter much to those of us who are blind. If there's anything that has to do with accessibility that I can think of, then it has to do with the fact that if you're someone with a low vision and you like using that magnification, for example, in there now you can choose to unblur. In other words, it used to be that if you turn on magnification, some things are blurry, but now that fixes it. And so that's the most important thing that relates to us. And alongside with that, also Google pushed out the October security patch. Samsung also did the same thing. And there are some 16 items or corrections or fixes that Google brought with this QPR, or rather October 2025 security patch. And these are some of those. I'm going to read through these things as quickly as I can. 1, Google Play system updates were failing to install for some users. 2, home screen shortcuts appeared as blank gray circles. 3, the wallet icon on your lock screen could sometimes appear with incorrect coloring. 4, battery charge to 100% when adaptive charging is turned on. And I know some people have noticed that. I think I saw that maybe on one of my phones. I don't remember which ones it was. Even though I wanted it to stop at 80, it just went to 100 as well. 5, the swipe up gesture from the bottom occasionally stopped working. 6, your selected theme might not apply on the first attempt. 7, 50 MB images captured with the ultra-wide or telephoto lens display rainbow artifacts. 8, poor battery life due to excessive CPU usage by the launcher, particularly on foldable devices. 9, calls could incorrectly route Bluetooth audio. 10, users in New Zealand could not access all 6 gigahertz Wi-Fi networks. 11, the terminal app would crash if you changed your device's UI font size while it was opened. 12, users couldn't type selected characters like star, @ or pound in the GUI terminal. 13, simultaneously swiping lock screen widgets and the notification shade caused buggy animations and a laggy, unresponsive UI. 14, the screen sometimes became unresponsive or froze when unlocking the device. 15, display freezes and screen noise. And 16, unexpected device crashes. Those are the fixes that came with that October. And so whether you get the October security patch or you got the QPR, they all have that fixes. And Samsung also pushed out for the S25 and S24 series a total of 26. There are 14 from Google and 12 that are exclusive to Samsung. And so those are some of the stuff that we have, and we'll put some of the URLs in there so you could read these things on your own. But that's what we have in the way of this. And by the way, the QPR2, the Beta 3 is the final for that QPR2. And in December, we'll see that QPR2 drop as a featured drop if you have a supporting Pixel device.
And do you want to remind us which Pixels are currently supported with quarterly platform release?
Yeah, I think all of the Pixel phones, the Pixel 6, I'm not sure I saw it in there, but the Pixel 10 Fold, for example, I know it wasn't part of the QPR, but I believe that it is now. But other than that, all of these Pixel phones will qualify uh, for this QPR. And by the way, by the time it drops in December, of course, all of them will have it. I'm sure even the Pixel 6, if it doesn't have it right now, I don't remember if it says it does or not. I know that last time when we got something in June, for example, the security patch in June for the Pixel phones, the Pixel 6 series did not have it and got its own back in August. So it could be something like that again.
So let's talk about some other news from Google, and some of this is quite interesting, and it's about increasing efforts to protect us from increasingly sophisticated scams. There'll be a blog in the show notes where you can read about this, but it's essentially trying to help both tackle scams that are getting more sophisticated by blocking links it thinks might be malicious, but also recognizing that some security measures can make usability a little bit difficult. And there's an interesting new method of account recovery, isn't there, Warren?
I particularly like that account recovery because I'm speaking as someone who have experienced some of these things, especially. So what we're talking about here is the account recovery. For example, you forgot your password or you don't have the phone to authenticate, or, we could you choose your recovery method? Do we send it to your phone and you don't have that phone, or your email, you forgot to put in a recovery email, or you don't have access to that? So Google is doing something different where it has what we call a trusted contact for recovery, for example, and it allows you to have up to 10 people that you could use as your contact recovery, for example. So if you forget your password or can get in for some reason and you're locked out, you could use that and choose, hey, send one of the codes to my contacted or trusted contacts, and they will send that to you. And I think I like that because it is a very good way to do that. So, for example, say Warren dies or something, and my family is trying to log into my account and they can get in because they don't know my password, for example, or whatever the case may be. They could hit one of those trusted contacts, and it'll just send it to them, and they'll be able to log in and change my passwords and stuff like that. So for me, I think this is a good thing. It depends on the person you're talking to, but it doesn't mean that because that person is a trusted contact, they have access to your account. No, they can't. They cannot log into your account because they are trusted. The only thing that they have access to is if you are in trouble and you have another way of authenticating that, yes, it's me and I can get in and I need a way to get in, then it will send that thing to them and they will give it to you so you can get in. But they themselves cannot get in. Does that make sense? So it's, for example, let's say Ed made me one of his trusted contacts. I can't just willy-nilly get into Ed's account no matter what I do.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
And you talked about the messages, Ed, the other one you mentioned. The whole idea is, so I'm corresponding with Ed or Karen or Sally, for example, and someone could pretend to be Sally or Karen or Ed and, maybe hijack their number or a SIM swap or whatever for some reason and hijacked it. And the system would know if it's not coming from Ed because if I have verified it. So you have to go into messages, you tap on, let's say I got a message from Ed and I tap on that message and I tap on that more options there on the top right, and I'll go into the message details. And therein, I will see if it is verified or if it has a verification key or not. Some phones you have to download it. We'll put the URL for the verifier from the Play Store. I noticed that on my Pixel 10 XL Pro, it already has it. But on my Pixel 9 Pro XL and Pixel 8 and others, I don't see it. I have to download it.